Hi, and welcome to the market review 4/9/2018. So we're going to look at S&P 500 ETF, SPY. As always, we're starting with the SPY, the QQQ, and the IWM. And then we'll look at a couple stocks that I was watching today and I played today. So SPY, we had a nice, as you can see over here, we've been holding this 200 SMA like a champ. 258.25, and nice spike today in the morning, but on a very low volume. Look at the volume today, very low, 106 million. That's not even actually 100 million volume today. Quite low volume, holding 200 SMA like a champ, but getting weaker and weaker day by day though. Gotta be careful here. I actually played SPY calls today on this from the morning till the afternoon. So a little early, but hey, it was green trade overall. So, we gotta make sure we get over this 265-ish range, which is around here. That's been holding us quite up here. So it's 260, 496, 265. Yeah, we do have that 266 fib line, but 265 has been the strongest resistance in here for quite some time in last week or so. So if we can break out of that 265 with volume, there is the room to go to this 270 and possibly fill this gap to this 269.95 level. So we have to keep an eye on S&P 500 as we are moving. We've been having those up and down days, and then and as usual, we had that massive sell-off in the close. Lot of news coming tonight. You got China Prime Minister speaking today. You got FBI raiding Trump's lawyer office today in the afternoon. So there's a lot of news that kind of that sell off, but that morning run was on very low volume. So eyes on SPY. If we break this 258 level, we have this 253. So you gotta be careful here. You're gonna look at the QQQ Nasdaq ETF. Again, the same kind of story here. Nasdaq was one of the strongest in the mornings. Was up nicely 1.5%, but sold off like everything else. We are having issues here at the 100 SMA. You can see over here, and then even last week, and then even today. So the 100 SMA is causing some trouble here for us. If we can break out of that, we can go to 165.69. But over here, we have a strong support at 155.68. This is the only one we haven't tested at 200 SMA yet. We came close, but we haven't tested it. So I won't be surprised if we do, but we have earnings coming up. Earnings season starts soon. I think Thursday with BlackRock, one of the banks. So I'm hoping that we stay above this 200 SMA and possibly break the 100 and move up to this 165 area. So but this candle today is just ugly. A lot of profit taking. Like I said, we had negative news coming in the afternoon, which kind of made a lot of people take some gains off the table. Russell 2000 ETF IWM. I like this quite a bit. I didn't play it today, but I was playing SPY, as that was just a much more easier play to do today. Over here as well, we've been at that 200 SMA for been testing that quite a bit here. Tested back on February 9th, and then even last week, and so we tried to make a move today, and I strongly, but it was actually held pretty well. If you, considering today, not as much profit over here, but again, we're super low volume, and that's my concern going into tomorrow and this week. Very low volume. We also have Fed minutes on Wednesday, so that's also another news event that is holding the traders, holding anything long, just day trading and just getting in, getting out. So I strongly believe that, if we actually closed at that 150, 154, 150, 54. Oh, we closed down over here. Yeah, we closed pretty low on this one. I see. But we actually were on the support line over here at 150.54. So if we hold on to it today, tomorrow, that's good. If not, then we got this 149 support. And again, we have that 200 SMA as always to rely back on. NVIDIA. Now, I drew this channel last week, and you can see how it's been channeling in this. This is since last year, May. So after the earnings, that actually popped from 103 to 115 and then started a massive run. So as you can see here, nice channeling going on here for quite some time, and now we're testing the bottom of the channel. Yesterday, Friday, and today. So if we and both the days we had the profit taking. If this breaks here, but again, I think we had a positive news that came out after hours today, which moved it back to the 220 level. I think Morgan Stanley upped the price target to 258. It says a buying opportunity, and right now it's at 219.45. So that's a pretty good pop after hours on NVIDIA. So we are right now around this, this level, which is actually, if you look, we are right around this level right now after hours. Pretty close. So if we can actually break out here, we can make that move, and NVIDIA can move pretty fast. We all know that. But if it breaks this 240, it breaks out of this channel, it really gotta go to 204, and then but I doubt that's gonna come unless we have some negative news in the market overall. But they have estimated earnings on 510. So eyes on this bottom of the channel here. I strongly believe we hold it tomorrow, going into tomorrow, because we have the positive news after hours. Boeing. We've been playing this quite a lot. Well, not me, but the people in the room. Tech Money, one of the killers on the bar every single day for last 1 month. Somehow he makes money on it. His skills are amazing. I'm going to talk about that just after I'm done going over these few charts and how he is using his charts on every single play, but on Boeing he has been just nailing it constantly for last month, and just by using one technique. So I'm going to talk about it once we're done with these charts. So you can see here Boeing has been trading between, mostly between 323 and 332. All right. Yes, it's been holding the 311 support pretty strong. That's a very good sign. And but it was actually nicely green in the morning at 334, and then kind of just gave everything back and then closed red. Not such a good thing, but I expect it to do the same thing what it did last week. So kind of like test the 311 and then pop if the market opens red. We are all eyes right now on China's Prime Minister speech on the tariff. So all eyes on that. That will kind of make the market move tomorrow. But if we break 311, we got 294. So we are, we have supports on the way here, 294, 311, strong supports, but should hold at 311, I believe. So eyes on Boeing. If it holds this level tomorrow, it can go to 332 and 341. This is a nice range, and he's been trading in this range for for almost a month, like from here. So he finds those like $10 range in Boeing, and he just plays every day. Tech Money, just killing it. So this is for him because this is his play of the month and almost last 2 months. Visa, I picked some calls up in the morning at 9:35ish. 120s for May monthlies. A nice green day today, but this upper shadow candle just kind of scares me, and I know that I'm gonna be red tomorrow, at least red open in the morning, just because of this candle. Just profit taking. Yes, it had a price upgrade today to 143, I think. Yep, right here, Guggenheim, whatever that name is, raises price target to 143, keeps at buys, and it's more He's more bullish on Visa than he's on MasterCard. I like both of them personally. So 120s for me. I'm not too worried on those calls. I'm just down a little bit, but I'm going to hold through them. And the last one I got to talk about is Square. I've been talking about Square for last, I think, a week or so, and I like it a lot. But it's been holding this 45, and then it's holding this 47. So once it was holding the 47 up here first last week, then once it broke it, it's been holding 45. Now it's been last couple of days, it's been holding 45 pretty strongly, nicely. So I like it here. If we can break this 47, we can test the 50. I want to see tomorrow if I get a chance at 45 again. Because if I do, I'm going in. I haven't picked any calls yet. I would like to pick at least 48s or 50s for May. They have May monthlies. They have earnings on 5/2. So anything, going a little further out in the earnings would be nice. It's been a nice stock. I mean, nice play here. Made all-time highs here. Nice pullback. Should start the earning run up soon from here from the 45. 45 is a nice support in my opinion. As you can see here, nice consolidation at 45 in February. Like for almost, from 220-ish to 3.2 for almost 2 weeks. Nice consolidation before it made a nice run over here. So if I get 45 tomorrow again on Square, I would like to buy at least $48 calls or 50 for the May monthlies. That would definitely cover the run into earnings. I'm not saying I'm going to hold for the earnings. I'm just trying to go a little further out. That way I have some time. If it drops after, I just have a little time on my hand if I decide to hold for the earnings. But I probably won't. So that's all I have on my watch list for today. But let's move on to what Tech Money has been using as his chart skills. Now this portion has been done by his consent. I asked him, he said go ahead and do it. So all credit to him. This video is all his techniques. I just want to talk about it because I started using it myself for the first time in last week, and I've been seeing a big difference here. So I want to talk about the SPY and the Qs here, and this goes for everything. So Heiken Ashi techniques. They are the candles, right? Basically, they are like a Japanese candlestick charts that filters out the market noise. Basically, what it does is it kind of makes sure it gives you more clarity in your charts. You will not see any gaps in this. It gives you proper trend of the market. So let's see over here. Let's just compare. This is his time frame as well, what he uses. So I'm just going to be talking just based on that and what I've been using it, what he approved. So let's just look at the SPY here, right? Opened at 9:30, and you see these red candles on the way here, and we had a nice Tuesday. Look at the volume today, though. Literally nothing. That's my main concern. And you see the volume increasing a little bit into the close. But that's the secondary thing. Let's talk about the Heiken Ashi. You're seeing this nice uptrend here, but you see these red candles on the way. You don't see them over here. This is today's 15-minute, right? Opened at 9:30. Yes, little red candle. So you had this red candle over here. Basically, what I believe it is that it's averaging the volume between the candles and giving you that particular candle. So in 15-minute chart, 5-day 15-minute, you can see a nice uptrend here until you get at 12:15, which is the 264.38. You can easily ignore these red candles because if you're just using these red candles, just one chart, you might get scared away because you're like, oh, look at this three red candles in a row. I'm getting out of my calls, right? You might get scared away. But here, you don't see that. So you're like, okay, you know what? There are buyers coming in. The volume, it's averaging nice green candles all the way till 12:15. And at 12:15, we are at what? 264 right here. This is where you see the first red candle. Right here in this area. So all the way here, you can just trade without worrying about anything. Basically, you are ignoring the market noise. You're ignoring the sellers. You don't have to, like over here, you can see this drop of like 40, 50 cents on the SPY. You can just ignore. You're not seeing that over here. So you're just basically trading normally without panicking and selling for less profit, or just just not selling early basically. And over here, when you see this kind of candles where you're seeing like it's half and half, there's upper shadow, there's lower shadow, this is where you're going to start thinking about either locking in half of your profits or just locking in your profits, period. And then after you see that, right from this 2 o'clock, which is I think is around here, actually, yeah, 2 o'clock, this candle turned kind of bearish, and then just you can see from 2 to 4 just nonstop selling off. So if you bought puts here, you just probably just killed it, right? Just look at it. Just so even there was that green candles coming in, you don't see them, so you're like, what, I'm just gonna hold my puts all the way through. So Heiken Ashi is, you can do the setup where you can see your 3-minute regular charts and Heiken Ashi on the other side, and just play that. And the same thing you're gonna see at the Qs today. Same thing. There's no difference at all in these charts on the Qs. Same exact thing. I saw this thing in the morning, right here, this little sell-off, and then just popped all the way through to 160.88. This is where at 12:15 and at the 12:15 mark, 12:30ish, you start seeing this red candle. Now, yeah, it had a little green candle over here, but if you sold it over here, there's no harm. You had a massive run from 158 to 160, 161ish almost. And then after 2 o'clock, you just could have just bought puts and all the way through. Now let's talk Visa, right? I was not looking at my charts today. I was in school when I was trading Visa. Now, had I seen this, I probably would have locked in my profits and then re-entered tomorrow, because even though I had made 120s, I had time on those. But right around this, look at this Visa just dropping here at this pulling back from 119 to 118. You don't see that over here. You don't see that pullback on Visa over here, right? So you could have just held on to it, even if it dropped like almost like 60 cents. You will not see it here. So you're just holding it through until either you hit this 120.50, which was over here, and I could have sold it right there. And I was up quite a bit nicely on it, but I held on to it. Yes, and I was up even better over here, but I held on to it. And then after 2 o'clock, everything just took a dive, and then right over here, all my profits were gone. So Heiken Ashi is one of the best things that I've come across thanks to Tech Money. And I will be starting to use them more often in my charts and even in my videos, just to show. This video was done after, and I asked for his consent, because it was his, even though it's TDs, but it was his idea, who taught me these skills. So I want to just give him all the credit for bringing this idea to me, this knowledge to me. And you gotta try something different in this kind of markets. There's so much uncertainty. You don't see these things. Like, you hardly see. If you go back here, you're seeing this SPY, like at least for at least 2 hours, you're seeing a pattern. You're seeing a pattern. You're not seeing red, green, red, green, red, green. You're not seeing that alternative candles. You're seeing 4 or 5 green candles, so that gives you at least an hour of trading those things, or it's giving you at least 4 or 5 red candles, an hour of playing the puts. So it's giving you basically a more clarity, a longer time frame to play, which is perfect. People usually, if I play actually SPY calls, and I'll tell you exactly what I did today on my SPY calls, because I was looking at one side. I didn't look at the Heiken Ashi, which was my mistake, because I was not able to. I bought it at the morning at this 261.20, right at this first candle, and I sold it at this level at 262.46. Yes, it was a green trade. It was a perfect trade, but but there was no signal at the from the Heiken Ashi where it said sell it. There was no signal. There was no red candle. If I would have held on to it until at least till 1 o'clock or 1:45, I would have had a very good profit on those. But I just took my gains right at this candle, at this upper shadow. Because in this market, I'm just so, just taking my gains. Every time I see my gains, and then there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking your profits. Remember that. It's not called panic selling. It's just called being smart. Be smart in this market. Be smart. That's what I'm going to tell everybody. I've learned my lesson. When you try to trade in this kind of market, where there's so much uncertainty, so much volatility, you got to be careful. There's nothing wrong with taking your greens, whether it's $100, $50, $200, whatever it is. You can always re-enter. Remember that part. You can always re-enter in a trade. Do not overtrade in this market. Do not, if you see green and if you think, that your chart says sell it, sell it. You don't have to. I sold it here and I never re-entered because I was nicely green over here as well. But if I had much more technical knowledge in this Heiken Ashi, I would have held on to it. But that's something I'm learning, and but again, it was a green trade. That's what it matters. So he's gonna do a class on it eventually. On Heiken Ashi, he knows. He explains it a lot better. He's been using it for a while, and so I want everybody to read on it, watch some videos on Heiken Ashi. I just tried to explain to it from my knowledge. I hope it was enough for people to understand what I'm talking about. But always try to learn something new in your trading. It will only be helpful. So that's all for today, and thank you for watching, and good luck trading, and be safe out there.